this is Jeff Wimmer from Studio Cycles and StudioCycles.com. It is Memorial Day 2012, and I'm here in my warehouse, and in this short YouTube video I want to talk about the new Kaiser M3 Plus and the Kaiser M3. These are both 2012 models, brand new out of the box. The Kaiser M3s, the Kaiser M3 has virtually remained unchanged over the last 5 years. Last year they came out with a flywheel guard. I think people were whacking their shins on the sharp edge of the flywheel, so they've got a flywheel guard now that's standard on the bike. For 2012 they call it the new Kaiser M3 Plus. The Kaiser M3 Plus, in my perception, is the Kaiser M3, but it does have a different handlebar and has a light on the computer and a nifty red shift lever. But here's the Kaiser M3 Plus, and here's the Kaiser M3. So if you look at these together, they are uncannily similar, except for the M3 Plus has this handlebar. Not sure who designed this handlebar. But it is, it does go forwards and backwards. I'm baffled by the design, just because of the close proximity from the pedal to the edge of the handlebar. I know that there were alleged issues with petite women riding these bikes and hammering their lower backs when they were riding these bikes out on hand position 3 at the end of the handlebars climbing. I'm not sure about the design of this. I strongly recommend that you try this bike somewhere before you plunk down your money. Now here's the thing. Most clubs don't take care of their bikes. Most chain-driven bikes, specifically Star Trac and Schwinn, are not well taken care of by clubs. And I think people are drawn to the belt drive on particularly the Kaiser M3 and the M3 Plus. It's whisper quiet and very smooth. But here's my issue with belt-driven bikes, particularly the M3. The M3, M3 Plus series bikes have a very small flywheel. It's very flat and very skinny. It's the lightest flywheel of any bike. And having been involved with indoor cycling, teaching thousands of classes, being involved as a professional cyclist, and riding, tuning, building, refurbishing, installing well over 100,000 spin bikes, indoor group cycles, over the last 20 years. I'm considered a bit of an expert on this stuff. I get called all kinds of things, but if you look around, you'll see that we're pretty much in the indoor cycling business. And I ride and tune every single bike myself. So back to the M3 Plus and the M3. I think the most important dynamic for most human beings is the amount of inertia that the bike produces, because a regular exercise bike produces little or no inertia. You tend to pedal it up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And if you're a runner trying to rehab those creaky knees or hip flexors, or if you're just getting up there in age like myself, fluid motion is key. And perimeter weighted flywheels, where they've got extra weight on the edge of the flywheel, is critical to produce aggressive inertia. Aggressive inertia, if you're a non-cyclist, you will bring an up, down, up, down, up, down pedal stroke to the table. Aggressive inertia will cause you to immediately, the second you engage the drivetrain, to develop a 360-degree fluid pedal stroke. The other thing about aggressive inertia and perimeter weighted flywheels is that you produce endorphins very quickly, so you feel good really fast on the bike, and that tends to keep people on the bike longer. So the Kaiser M3, the Kaiser M3 Plus, we have them in our stores. I think our numbers, because I have the only 2 indoor cycling specific brick and mortar retail stores in the world, but I think for every Kaiser we sell 150 to 200 Schwinns and Star Tracs. And I think if people do their homework and they compare side by side, and the bike is tuned and optimized the way it's supposed to be, which you don't normally find in clubs, or at least a lot of clubs, you can do a comparative analysis and draw your own conclusions. Aggressive inertia is key. An optimized tuned bike is key. We're the only company in the world where when you buy a brand new bike online, we don't just process your credit card and grab a box and throw it on a big brown truck. We take it out of the box, we tear it apart, we optimize it, we tune it, we build it, and then we extend the warranty for life. And then we over-package it with our bomb-proof packaging. And if you ever have a problem, we don't tell you to call the manufacturer. You talk to me directly. And I think it speaks volumes that I get very, very, very few calls on the bikes we sell because we do so many extra things to ensure that the product that's delivered to you is optimized. So in that respect, Kaiser M3 retails at about $15, $16.95, and then the M3 Plus retails for an extra $100 to $200 more. We have them. This is the M3 Plus here. Some of the things about this bike is very quiet, very smooth. They use Shimano pedals. It's a very clean, sterile, sleek design. It does not have adjustable levelers, so if you put the bike on a floor and it's not even, the bike, you'll need to fold up a piece of paper and put underneath it. It has a rather large, unusual saddle. The M3 Plus has a handlebar that's it's very, very different. I highly recommend testing this bike physically before you try it, before you actually buy it. And then the fore and aft handlebar, I think, was designed primarily for multiple hand positions and petite women. But if you look at the proximity of the pedal to the back of the handlebar, it's almost as the handlebar goes back too far. And there's no arrow position. This one here, you really kind of need arms like a Tyrannosaurus Rex to ride this arrow position. Plus the computer is sort of in your way. So that's that. And then if you rode this in an arrow position, your forearm would actually be, it would rest on the handlebar. And the problem with a round handlebar is that it digs into your forearm. I like the handlebars that have the flat spot designed so when you're actually engaging the arrow position, your forearms are resting on an ergonomically more correct surface. And then also, they've done different pop pins on the M3 Plus, M3 for 2012, and I'm not quite sure how these are supposed to work because normally this pop pin should pull down and twist so you can adjust it at an optimal angle, but these don't twist or rotate, and I find that very odd in terms of ease of adjustment. So anyway, I'm Jeff Wimmer from Studio Cycles, studiocycles.com. You can call me 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Telephone number is 888-909-BIKE, 310-664-1375, 818-470-2204. I'm always happy to talk to people whether you're buying one bike or 100 bikes. And remember, we're also the only company in the world where with our used bikes, we tear them completely apart, whether they're a month old or 5 years old. We rebuild them completely, and we do lifetime free parts replacement on our Star Tracs and Schwinns. So do your diligence, do your due diligence, do your homework before you spend your money so that the bike that you buy will last you for the rest of your life. I'm Jeff Wimmer from Studio Cycles and studiocycles.com, and thank you for listening to this video.